You remember your last night in Vietnam?
Actually, I do. It was the night that the guys walked on the moon. And somebody said to me, "Oh, they're walking on the moon. Oh, come on into the officers club and watch." I said, "Who cares? Who cares? Our guys are dying over here. Who cares?" And I didn't watch. It didn't mean anything to me. Because somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's husband, somebody's father was going to be dying. So that really the landing on the moon meant nothing.
I had flown 900 missions, and I'd been shot down twice. I got shot down a second time. Again, I got rescued. Mary went to Mass every day for me, so I was in good stead. And then I decided I'm getting out. I'm not going to take another tour.
You always anticipate that day, and you look forward to it. And I think the worst thing to be around is a guy that's new in country and a guy that's short, because they're jumpy. And you just want to make sure that you make it out. Getting on that Freedom Bird, coming home to what we call the world, was special. It was a very special time. It was like, oh God, I made it.
As far as leaving Vietnam, everybody on the plane was happy. The happier part was when we landed. We landed in Fort Worth, California. We came back and processed here. So most of the guys, we kissed the ground. You know, hey, we're back. Hallelujah, we're here.
So what was homecoming like for you?
Different than what we see today with guys that are coming home in groups. I left by myself, like I said in the beginning. I came home by myself.
We had been told by the nurses who were coming in country that as soon as we got off the plane, when we got in the U.S., to get out of uniform, to carry a dress or whatever you're going to wear with you, change in the nearest bathroom, and then go home.
My brother and his wife, and my wife now, they picked me up at Fort Dix. I got dressed into my civilian clothes and we came home.
I was one of the fortunate ones. I wore a Navy uniform. So people did not necessarily associate Vietnam with the Navy.
The reception you got in uniform was so awful that who needs it? You know, now a lot of the guys had no choice.
Although the Vietnam vets were not treated very well, and I don't want to say I was abused, because when I came back, basically for the next year and a half, I was with the Marines on active duty.
I went into the ladies' room, I took my fatigues off, my boots, and I threw them in the trash, and I wore my dress home.
So I was pretty much insulated from that. And so I didn't get a lot of what a lot of the troops got.
I can remember going into the airport in San Francisco to come home and not experiencing any of the horrible things that happened to guys that would walk in there with an Army uniform on.
Some of the Vietnam vets had it tough, where the public didn't embrace them for service. In fact, they blamed them for the war.
You know, I never ran into that, you know. So everybody that I'm associated with, of my color, you know, whatever I ran into, it was, you know, I had no problem with it.
When I got back, I closed it off. That was it. It was shut out. I didn't talk about it, didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to have any experiences related to it. It was just a part of my life, that chapter of my life had closed, and that was it. I was moving on. And you bury it. You bury it for many years.
When I came home and I got those civilian clothes on, 2 weeks later, I got a job and went to work. Some of my friends didn't even know I was in Vietnam. I let my hair grow, you know, and just blended right back into civilian life.
This is my life, and I thank God that I'm able to be here and back safe. There's a lot of guys was over there in that area, didn't make it back. And I said, I have to take and go on with my life. And I did, but you know, with some of the things that I had to deal with, I just dealt with it the best way I knew how.
How tough was that for a lot of guys to reconcile with? They did what was asked and more for their country, but they didn't get the same recognition as maybe their fathers did.
Some guys were really depressed about that. I could be part of the PTSD thing, looking for, you know, a little bit of thank you or something for their services coming in. It was just a total different time than World War II. You know, it's, I mean, those guys were treated very well with the whole everything, you know, parades in the city and the whole thing. And it's, you know, for us, it was just different. I didn't talk about Vietnam. I didn't say anything. Most of the guys are getting their due. Some guys will never. You know, they'll just, they'll never get what, you know, some guys won't, you know. It's different now because the eyes are open. People are thanking us for our service and what we've done. The Tet Offensive, I wasn't there during that. I went right after that, and I couldn't imagine being there during Tet when everything broke out and just chaos went on, you know. But yeah, they need their respect. You know, they need to be known, you know, as the warriors that they were, and doing their time in Vietnam.
Not since the Civil War has America found itself so divided over a military operation. When we come back, the politics of Vietnam and the warriors caught in the crossfire.
When I went over, I had absolutely no idea whether the war was right or wrong.